Have you ever opened a door you wish you hadn't? Let me tell you about the one door that changed my life forever. My uncle left me a warehouse in his will, a place no one in my family dared to touch. They called it cursed, filled with objects better left forgotten. I didn't believe them until I stepped inside. This isn't just a story about an inheritance. It's a warning. What you're about to hear might make you think twice about the things you own, and the things that own you. Stick with me to the end because the choice I had to make, it's one you'll never forget. Ready? Let's go in. The story opens with Thomas recounting the bizarre will reading. While others got cash or property, he inherited a warehouse, Joseph's so-called treasure trove. At first, Thomas jokes about his lottery win, describing his uncle as a paranoid eccentric. He was obsessed with curses and haunted objects. Total nonsense, right? At least, that's what I thought. Until I stepped into that warehouse. When Thomas first enters, the door creaks with an almost human moan, and the air feels dense, stifling. Shelves stretch endlessly into dimness, stacked with crates, trinkets, and dusty antiques. Just a storage unit, he tells himself, but he can't shake the feeling of being watched. Thomas hires a broker, Emily, to evaluate the items. She arrives, takes one step inside, and freezes. "This place feels off," she says, her voice tight. Thomas chuckles. "You sound like Uncle Joseph. Relax, it's just junk. Now where do we start?" Emily's unease grows as she identifies valuable but eerie pieces. A cracked mirror, a hand-carved doll missing an eye, a locked chest she calls ominous. That night, Thomas hears whispers for the first time, a faint, but brushes it off as exhaustion. "Stress does weird things to your mind," he says aloud, though his voice betrays doubt. The chest gnaws at Thomas's curiosity until he gives in. He pries it open, to find a fragile journal in Joseph's handwriting, a locket containing a sepia photo of a woman with hollow eyes. The journal reveals chilling details. Each artifact in the collection was acquired from sites of tragedy or death. Joseph hints at a price he paid to contain their power. "It's just stories," Thomas mutters, though the whispers return that night, louder than before. When he walks into the warehouse the next day, a crate has toppled over, its contents spilled in an almost deliberate pattern. Emily convinces Thomas to sell a few items, assuring him they're just antiques. The mirror, doll, and locket fetch astronomical bids at auction. "See? Easy money," Thomas gloats, but Emily frowns. "I don't think they wanted to be sold." The whispers escalate, transforming into distinct voices. One night, Thomas wakes to a woman's scream and sees the doll, shipped off days ago, back on its shelf, grinning with its empty eye socket. He confronts Emily, who confesses she's been having nightmares since stepping foot in the warehouse. One buyer returns the locket, claiming it caused his wife's mental breakdown. Thomas dives deeper into Joseph's journal, piecing together the horrifying truth. The artifacts are alive, feeding on energy and emotion. Their influence extends beyond the warehouse, leaving destruction in their wake. Joseph wasn't crazy, Thomas whispers to himself. He was their keeper. Emily begs him to stop selling. "You're releasing something we can't control," she says, but Thomas hesitates, torn between greed and fear. The phenomenon intensifies. Shelves collapse without reason. Logically, shadows move independently, and the whispers now scream accusations. "You shouldn't have let us go." The journal's final entry delivers a gut punch. They demand balance. If their rest is disturbed, they will take what's owed. Thomas finally understands. Joseph had been the artifact's jailer, sacrificing his own freedom to contain them. Now, with the artifacts scattered, the curse has no boundaries. Emily calls in tears, saying she saw a vision of Thomas's death. She begs him to leave everything behind. "I can't," Thomas says, his voice hollow. "They won't let me." Thomas barricades himself in the warehouse, trying to undo the damage. He burns the journal in a desperate attempt to break the curse, but nothing changes. The artifacts demand a new keeper. They whisper promises and threats, pulling Thomas deeper into their grasp. In the chilling final scene, Thomas's voice slows, resigned. "I sold my soul without even knowing it. Now I'm their prisoner, but they'll never stop calling others. One day someone will come here thinking they've found treasure, and I'll be waiting, because I'm not alone anymore. They're always here." As Thomas speaks, the camera pans to the cracked mirror, where his reflection isn't matching his movements. It's smiling. Now it's your turn. Have you ever inherited something strange, or felt like an object carried a story it shouldn't? Share your experience in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. And if this story left you thinking, or maybe even a little unsettled, don't keep it to yourself. Like, share, and subscribe for more stories that dive into the shadows of the unknown. Together, we're uncovering what most people fear to face. See you in the next chapter.